But first, an inconvenient truth made global warming a household phrase, but now the environment may be actually getting a bigger ally than Al Gore. His name? God. A growing number of conservative Christians are going green, and they're declaring that protecting the earth is a moral issue of the first order. With me now is the Reverend Rich Cizik. He's Vice President of Government Affairs for the National Association of Evangelicals, who've been the most vocal advocates of Christian environmentalism. Thank you so much for being with us, Dr. Reverend. Greatly appreciate it.
Good morning, Mr. Scarborough. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I would guess, though,
terrific,
that you may have upset some evangelicals in the flock by talking about environmentalism as a moral issue. How have some conservative Christians been responding to your tact?
Well, of late, I think it's going a little better. But let's face it, a year or so ago, it was tough hoeing, so to speak, using a biblical analogy for the earth as opposed to tough rowing. So, frankly, it's better these days. Nobody's trying to take away my job like they were a year ago.
Who was trying to take away your job a year ago?
Well, 25 evangelical leaders wrote to the National Association of Evangelicals and said, well, Mr. Cizik shouldn't be putting importance on the earth and caring for it. We think we should stick to issues like same-sex marriage and abortion. And, of course, I happen to believe and have been speaking out saying tending the earth, caring for it, is a biblical duty which God gave us. And so back off, would you please? Well, some have, some haven't. But in any case, what is really happening, Joe, is that the American evangelicals are becoming, well, green, if you will.
Why is that? Because obviously there are a lot of evangelicals that spent the 70s and the 80s and the 90s reacting to what happened in the 1960s. But now you certainly see a great change among a lot of evangelicals, not only talking about the environment, they're also talking about spending more time helping the poor, helping the disadvantaged, taking on issues that liberals have owned over the past 20, 30 years.
Yes, but we're putting it in a biblical context. So we're saying, look, whatever the past was, it's a new day, it's the 21st century, and we are the new evangelicals, and we have a broad agenda, and caring for the earth is one of those agendas. And so I'm out here in Minnesota, Joe, to announce the National Association of Evangelicals partnership with the Environmental Protection Association's Energy Star Congregations program. So we are asking all 45,000 churches associated with NAE to, if you will, go green, that is, become energy efficient. And by doing so, let's put it really, if 300,000 houses of worship in America, that's Protestant, Catholic, Muslim mosques, everybody, if we did that as a community, collectively, 300,000, we would save $200 million annually for other purposes, and we would reduce 2 million tons of CO2, nitrous oxides, mercury, sulfur from the atmosphere. So why shouldn't we be doing what God has always told us to do, which is to care and protect the earth, and we're going to do this. And I dare say, too, since we're talking politics today, and it is an election day in many states, this is going to be an issue which evangelicals are going to look at when they cast their ballots.
Well, I was going to ask you that question. Obviously, evangelicals made the difference electing George Bush in 2004. Yes. He's his oil man. He's never been overly sympathetic to the environment. I say that. He's talked to him about the environment on several occasions. Will evangelicals decide that the environment is just as important to them as the issues in 2004 that drove them to George W. Bush?
Well, I'm not sure of that, but I'm saying if they even recognize it as partially important, which I don't think it should be that little. I think it should be on par with all the other issues, because when you think about it, Joe, that hundreds of millions of people around the globe are already being impacted by climate change. I was up in Alaska at Shishmaref Island, 50 miles from Russia, in the Arctic Circle this summer, and already the marginalized people, in Yupiks in this case, they're one of the tribes, they're already losing their land completely to Arctic sea level rise. And if you look at America, the continental United States, we see the droughts of the Southwest, the fires in San Diego, Katrina. What more do we need to see in terms of impacts to realize we've got to change the way we live? And why shouldn't the churches be leading this? Of course they should be, because that's God's mandate to us. He said it was good, it was very good, and he said, moreover, God said in his own word in Genesis 2:15, care and protect it.
Well, there are more.
And have we been doing that? Have we been doing that? I don't think so.
There are more and more evangelicals who are certainly siding with you, and I think it's going to have an impact in the 2008 race. Thanks so much, Reverend, for being with us.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you. It's my
Reverend
pleasure.
Rich Cizik. And now to the